Hi, everyone. I'm Tamara Romanek, and I lead partnerships at Plaid. I'm very excited to have with me today Trevor Nies, SVP and Global Head of Digital Strategy for Adyen. Trevor is leading Adyen's pay-by-bank initiatives in the United States and is the executive sponsor for the partnership with Plaid. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Tamara.
So Trevor, I'd love to ask you a little bit about your journey and what brought you to Adyen.
I've been on a payments journey for about 20 years now. And I remember when I was at Microsoft, a question came up to me, and it was, how can we process payments for Xbox outside the US? Me, nothing about payments, was thinking, oh, this is easy. We'll just do credit card payments. We'll use our same provider, and that'll work everywhere around the world. But little did I know that it turns out that not everybody outside the US wants to use a credit card. And so I really learned a lot about the complexities around payments. And so as part of that, I took over managing all of our payment provider relationships, our optimization, how to improve performance, how to reduce costs, and also our risk management system. So really combating fraud on all of our services. But as time progressed, these challenges just kept coming and coming. But at some point, I came to this stage in my career where I really asked myself, how can I contribute more to the ecosystem, to the industry? And Adyen was a natural progression, natural place to go to have that opportunity, to have an ability to represent merchants, thousands of voices in this industry, and find ways to create new customer experiences, new innovation for our merchants and their consumers. I couldn't be happier with the choice on coming to Adyen.
So Trevor, at Adyen, you talk to a lot of merchants every day. I am sure you learn a lot about their key priorities, and I'm just curious, how does Pay by Bank fit in with those priorities?
Yeah, this is really my favorite part of my job, the ability to talk with so many different merchants around the world, so many different industries, so many merchants who are really innovating in different ways and creating really unique customer experiences. But they all say the same thing. They all say there's three things that they're focusing their energy on that we can help them with. The first one is approval rates. Anytime a customer pulls out their payment method, it needs to just work. And the second thing is our subscription merchants. Every month that they bill, they want to make sure that that payment method works because the customer, they're not present at that time. So they got to make sure that it just works behind the scenes so their service doesn't get interrupted. And the third one is cost and how to continue to reduce costs. Coming out of the pandemic, that's been just a major focus that all of our merchants have really been spending a lot of their time and energy on. And so when you think about those three things, Pay by Bank is a beautiful fit because it addresses every single one of those. And from the performance and the churn perspective, the really nice thing about bank payment methods is the average American holds on to their bank account for 17 years. And I don't know about you, but I was looking at mine the other day. I'm like, it's been about 17 years. So
I think I have a few years on you.
Right? And it turns out cards, on the other hand, are recycled every 2 or 3 years. And so you can naturally see where anytime you have friction, a change in a payment method, you have a chance to lose that particular customer's payment instrument to work every single time. And then on the cost side of the equation, it's 40%, oftentimes even more, savings from a card. And so those three things, it's exactly what our merchants are looking for. Pay by Bank is just a really nice fit for it.
That's great. And I think offering a very diversified payment set is super important. And especially with the younger generation, it feels like so many of them are keen to spend within their means, especially the Gen Z and the millennial audiences. So I think it's really great for merchants to be thinking about extending the methods into Pay with Bank.
Yeah, and I think that's right. And yeah, our whole goal is to really provide our merchants and their consumers with ubiquity, with the payment types that their customers want. And if it's Pay by Bank, if it's wallets, if it's buy now, pay later, whatever it is, we want to provide it to them. And so we see demand now for this new payment method in the US, Pay by Bank. And it is always fascinating to me because the US is actually really behind on payments. We always have been. We lead the world in so many different areas, but payments. And so you think about in Asia Pacific, wallets have been out there for many, many years with Alipay, WeChat Pay. You think about Europe, where bank payment methods have been very prevalent with SEPA. Ideal is another great example. And then you think about these other payment methods that are up and coming in Brazil and India, probably my two favorite examples, because the growth on these payment types has never been seen before at this height. It's just absolutely astonishing. But the way they're doing it is a little bit different that I think probably will happen in the US. The government and the central bank have both been really behind these payment methods, Pix in Brazil and UPI in India. And the reason being is they're really pushing to get cash out of the ecosystem.
Right.
Certainly in the US, we still have a lot of cash as well. We've made more progress than India and Brazil have by far. But it's not just that. They're also looking to reduce costs for merchants and consumers and for the entire ecosystem. And so in India, there's a tremendous amount of regulation really pushing UPI to be accepted anywhere and everywhere. While in Brazil, the central bank has really been the body really pushing PIX. And what they've really been going after is ensuring that every single bank app supports it. In fact, not just the bank app supports it, but the logo for Pix, it's in the same spots, it's the same style, same requirements, same specifications, the customer knows it, exactly where to find it, it's the same user experience for them. And so it's really generated a lot of traffic in a very, very quick manner. So I think there's a lot that we can learn from the US looking at these different payment types, but the common theme amongst all of them is bank payment methods are either behind the wallets, behind these instruments, or the leading instrument as well.
So Trevor, in the US specifically, we've been talking about pay with bank for years. Do you think now is really the time? And why do you think so, if it is?
Yeah, I actually think we have a perfect storm here. I mean, I talked earlier about merchants, why they're really demanding it, why they're pushing for it. So you have that side of the equation now, which is perfect. From a customer perspective, we know, and you mentioned it earlier, you're talking about the younger generation, they don't care about credit. They don't care about rewards like you or I do, right? Where we grew up with it.
Totally.
And to your point, they probably grew up seeing their parents always owing credit, paying these horrible bills every month, high interest rates. They want to pay within their means. And so we see that younger generation just a perfect candidate for this. But we also see a big trend now where it's more debit instruments versus credit. So all that's pointing to the fact that there's an opportunity to use banking instruments now with customers. And then that third piece is around friction. And this is really where Plaid's come in and done an amazing job on removing that friction. Because now you no longer have to find your checkbook, get the routing number, the checking account number, enter it multiple times, and then even worse, do the 2 random deposits, wait 2 days, did it show up my account, did it not show up my account? It's just a horrible experience. That's never gonna work. But now, again, with Plaid, that friction has been removed. And so the fact that you can just log in into your bank, simple, one easy little step, and it turns out more people know their banking credentials, of course I hope so, than their credit card number, makes it even easier. So when you consider the merchant demand, customers are willing to use it, and that friction now is trivial. Yeah. We're really set up to have success here with that payment type.
Yeah, I think we've all learned a lot, right, on how we can do this better and make it better for the entire ecosystem. The infrastructure is ready, and so people should dive in.
I agree.
So as you were going through the process to decide who to partner with, why was it Plaid that you chose to partner with and engage on this journey?
Yeah, it was actually a really simple decision because we really needed a partner who was going to have the broadest and most trusted network for all financial services in the US. And Plaid has that. Nobody else has as much scale or breadth. I mean, Plaid has 12,000 connections today with banks and credit unions, 8,000 plus apps that are running on it, and it serves millions of consumers. But it's not just that. It's also the fact that Adyen and Plaid are very similar. Like our number one focus is our customer, right? And you have to be, right? And how to remove that friction, how to make sure it's safe and secure and it's fast and it just works. Again, nobody can bring that but Plaid and Adyen. I'm really excited about this combination of the two.
Me too. So Trevor, we've been talking to many merchants separately and together about the use cases that we can help solve for with Pay with Bank and with faster money movement. Can you talk to me a little bit about the traction that you're seeing and how people should be planning for these use cases?
Yeah, I think one use case that we sometimes overlook that's been around for quite some time now is bill pay. And I think about myself, anytime I need to write a check still, I actually go to my bank app and I submit the check, make them write it and send it, and away we go. And I actually end up doing that probably more often than I need to, frankly. But 8 of 10 Americans already do that today.
Yeah.
So bill pay is already doing this. But the natural progression that we're really seeing, what we're hearing about, is subscriptions. And subscriptions is a great opportunity where it leverages ACH in the background. Mm-hmm. It's a pull instrument. You don't need the customer present, but you still have that authentication in the very beginning. It's an easy way for customers to add their account, and it saves costs for the merchant. So we see that as a natural progression as well. Also, I would say B2B. If you think about advertising, cloud services, businesses are used to paying with their bank accounts already. Mm-hmm. And these are very high dollar transactions. Mm-hmm. Again, another great fit for pay by bank. And if you take it from there, then the next progression is going to be online retail, we believe. So high dollar transactions, again, because of the cost reduction, it's going to be so imperative for merchants to make this payment type available. And as customers continue to get more accustomed to using pay by bank with those other services I just described, they're going to be more and more willing to do it for online retail as well.
We're a ways away from online retail because we're just early days, but I'm excited for the progression, the opportunities for us to get there for sure. And there are definitely people thinking about it.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yes. So Trevor, with this new payment method, not only do we need to mitigate fraud, but we also need to think about moving money in real time and the risk of ACH fraud return and other things. How are you thinking about that as we're building this pay by bank method?
Yeah, and both of those are equally important to merchants. How to reduce fraud, but also ensure that customer is going to pay with money in their account. And so that first piece, this is where Plaid really brings a ton of value. So the authorization and identity checks are critical for ensuring that fraud is minimized. And then the flip side, will that customer actually have funds in their account? Again, Plaid can check the balance, how much is currently on that account at that time, but also with the Signal product, evaluating transactions real time to predict, can that customer actually pay it when it's time to charge that particular amount?
Making it real time. It's really important to do with the different rails that this payment method is going to ride. So Trevor, another area where we're super aligned is just thinking about how to use the instant payment rails. I mean, today in the US, we now have 3 rails. We have ACH, RTP, and the FedNow service. So in talking to merchants, how are you thinking about what advice to give them and what considerations should they be thinking about?
Yeah, and with all 3 of those rails, the way we're building the product is we're future-proofing against all 3 of them. And so when we initially launch the product, it will be with ACH, which again will be perfect for the continuous bill pay, the subscription examples that are exactly what our customers, our merchants are really demanding. But when we think about in the future, the opportunity for FedNow to really gain traction today, it works for payouts, but it's not quite ready for pay-ins yet. But when it is, we'll naturally plug it into our solution that provide another alternative. RTP, real-time payments, which the conglomerate of banks own. That is a solution that's definitely farther ahead of FedNow, but still is a little bit nascent in the marketplace. But yeah, the great news is we're gonna make all 3 of those available with the Plaid Adyen solution here. And each one serves a different purpose. Back to really what we wanna accomplish here at Adyen is we wanna make sure that every payment type our merchants want is available to them. So if they want an instant payment, makes great sense if it's a very expensive purchase for online retail, or if they want a subscription, ACH is a perfect example where that really plays a key role. We can offer either one of those in conjunction with Plaid, again, to get that authentication, to ensure that the balance is there. Super, super important.
With this new payment method, what are you most excited about over the next 12 to 18 months as we watch it evolve?
I mean, if you think about what we've been through in our lifespan, seeing the payment ecosystem in the US, how often have we seen change? Not often. I mean, cards have been around for decades. Only recently have we seen buy now, pay later. We've seen wallets, but that's basically it. And so to be able to have an opportunity to introduce this new payment method in conjunction with Plaid is going to be just a fantastic thing for us to watch, to see it grow, to nurture it, to see the adoption of it, and see how it changes the ecosystem, how it changes customer experiences. And I think we focused a lot of our time thinking about the digital space, the online space, but fast forward from that, I can imagine a world too where I take my phone into any retailer and I just tap and pay, where it's not my card funding that wallet, it's actually my bank account, which, by the way, that's how it works in other countries, just not in the US. And so point of sale is going to be the next revolution, the next generation part of pay by bank. So I couldn't be more excited to be working on this in conjunction with you.
Likewise, and I share the same excitement because that's why I joined Plaid. And if you think about it, we haven't seen another product. I mean, ACH was launched in the 70s, and now we have faster payment rails and other things at which to add value and give people, the opportunity to access their funds whenever they want to, and help merchants get access to the funds faster when they need it, or get someone a payout as fast as they need it. Super exciting to be a part of the journey. So really happy to be building these solutions with the Adyen team.
Yeah, me too.
So Trevor, it's really inspiring to see how well our visions align between Plaid and Adyen. I mean, especially when we're helping support merchants advance their business goals, and with users to be able to adopt a new payment method and spend within their means, and helping the younger generation whose kind of shopping basket is becoming bigger and more important in all of our lives. I just really want to thank you for being here today with me and sharing your insights and your experiences.